Hi, welcome to another episode of Ms. Primosch's Art Cart. As you've undoubtedly seen in our last episode, I was very entertainingly assisted by my lovely assistant, Kayzilla. Kayzilla is not with me here today. I'm coming to you from my art studio in Long Island City. My art studio was undamaged, whereas my apartment building was destroyed by a fire in the early morning hours of February 15th in the East Village. I'd like to thank the fire department for rescuing us off the fire escape. We'd like to thank the Red Cross for helping us and everybody else who helped us out. We're out safe and sound, and that's the most important thing. So fortunately, because I have an art studio here in Long Island City, none of my, well, a few pieces, but just about none of my artwork was destroyed. And that's another thing to be thankful for. So going with the theme of using art to make a tough situation to a better situation, I'm going to do a better, more in-depth lesson on fire for everybody, since everybody likes to ask me how to draw fire. There are different ways to draw fire. There's cartoon ways, there's realistic ways. I'm going to do something a little bit stylized. So I'm going to be using pencils. I'm going to be using watercolor paint. You got the basic idea in the last episode. We'll go more into it in this episode. So here comes fire. All right, so here's my paper, right? I'm going to do kind of what I did in the last episode, which is a little fireball. So I'm going to start from the bottom. Fire points up if you want to look more like fire and less like an electrical shock. So I just made a squiggly line. You want the top of that line to be pointy. Now it's coming down, it can get fatter. And now here's another squiggle up to a point. Squiggle down, squiggle up, squiggle down, squiggle up, squiggle down, squiggle up, squiggle down. Okay, now you can also show little tongues of fire, because fire often leaps up off of its main source. So there's some fire leaping off. And then you can show like a little center of the fire. That's always good stylistically. So there we go. There's some fire right there. I might make another big mass of fire over here. Okay, and maybe let's make some more flames over here. Okay, so there's your basic shapes of fire. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some colors to sort of bring the fire to life. Really good fire colors would be red, orange, and yellow. The only time you see fire that's blue is if it's a gas fire. Organic fires tend to be in the warm color ranges, okay? So here comes, I'm going to take red, I'm going to go on the outside with the red, I'm going to go from the darkest to the lightest outside to in, and then I might go dark again on the inside. So check this out. Taking my watercolors, rinsing my brush. Okay. So, I'm going on the outline. What's great about brushes is that you can get a real sort of nice effect of points with the brushes. See? I'm continuing to follow my initial line of the fire. Come down here. And more paint. With watercolor, when you notice your paint is getting light, that's when you need to recharge your brush, as we say in art. That means put more paint on your brush and maybe have it with a little less water. Don't necessarily add more water to it. Now what I'm going to do while I'm going to drop my brush, is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do while the paint's still kind of wet, I'm going to come on in with some orange, and I'm going to let the paint touch and kind of mix together because that's cool. And also it's there was a little too much water there, so it looks a little pinky, and in my experience fire is rarely pink. It doesn't go to that sort of range of red. So check out how the paint is kind of mixing together. See, that's called bleeding, when the paint bleeds into one another. Some of you have experienced this in class, unintentionally, when your paint starts bleeding in, and you didn't want it to, when it starts bleeding into the other colors. Okay, so now, again, paint's still wet, right? Let's start adding some yellow in there. Let's see how cool that looks. Oh, that's looking cool. I like that. I'm gonna drop some in there while it's still, oh yeah, check out that, the way it's mixing. That's hot, literally hot. Now you notice I never really bothered to erase my guidelines, because I noticed that once you start painting often, people don't even notice your guidelines anymore. And there we go, there's some coolness. Now, if you want to, something you can do for what's sort of a cool effect is take some really light yellow, and not right on top of the red, but a little distance away from the red. Make another line that sort of follows the fire and almost gives a glowing effect. Sometimes it works. So we'll try that out here. See, it's not perfect. We don't care if it's perfect right now. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to take some of that really light yellow and go back into this space right here. And there's some hot fire. So I'm going to work on the other two fireballs that I made, and we'll try another effect. We're going to actually work with red-orange here on this one, because I know that won't get pinky. So here we go with that. Pretty cool. Once you really practice with a good brush, you're going to be able to get some really nice natural looking lines. So you notice I'm not dragging the brush really slowly, because then I'll start to like kind of wobble, if you know what I mean. So there's that, that's cool. Now let's get with that lighter orange. Right on top while it's still wet. So when it blends, it kind of looks cool. Okay, now it's time for the yellow. Now notice I'm leaving some areas white. Have you ever heard the expression white hot? If fire burns at a very, very hot level, it actually burns almost white. It's called white hot. Okay, now I've got a big blob of paint right there, so check out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lift up my paper carefully. I'm gonna actually let the paint run down that way. See? I don't know if you can see. See under the light. Now if I add a little water to it, it's really going to be kind of cool. See? Anyway. Okay, so there's that with the white center. Now, we're going to do this last little ball of fire here. And mix a little red and orange. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's come on in with some orange. I think you're getting the idea of how we're doing this now. Let's make this a little more organic looking. Okay, now I'm going to add some of that yellow. Oh, that's really a cool mix right there. Ooh, cool. Just add some fire just for fun. Okay. Ooh, nice orange on my arm there. So here are 3 fireballs, okay, or 3 fire flame, whatever you want to call them. But there's a couple ways to do that. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna let all that drip. I'm gonna pin it right up there. See what happens after it drips all over. And now we'll do what everybody loves, which is, I'm going to turn this on the side, names in fire. Everybody loves that. Almost everybody. Okay, so let's do the word fire. Remember when we did graphic words a couple of months ago where you had to make the word look like what it was? Here's a great example. Fire. So always do this step first. You must write out the word in pencil normally. So I like capitals, so here we go. F-I-R-E. Fire. I'm writing it kind of light, so this way it'll be easier to erase later. Now I'm going to go around the letters in my guide, with flame, okay? Squiggle up 2 points, squiggle down. Using what I wrote as the guideline. Fire always points up. So you notice what would be the underside if you thought of these letters as 3D objects, I make straight. And then here comes the fire again. Up. Here's the under part. Now you want to make sure you follow the form of the letter, otherwise it's not going to look like the letter. Okay, so there's the F. Now let's try the I. The I is going to be easy. Or faster. I know I'm going really fast. Okay, so now the R is very close to the I, so the fire is going to get all up on each other and stuff, but and usually in a real fire what would happen is that would make one just big fire. Okay. I'm following the shape. Okay. Okay, this is the underside, so it's straight. Now we're pointing up again. Okay, now I'm going to do the inside. Now this is the under part here, right? So, and there. Alright, now we've got the letter E. Underside is straight. Start flaming up again. Underside is straight. Start flaming up. Okay, so there's the word fire. Looks okay now, but now let's make it really look right. Let's hope my electric eraser, remember this? The electric eraser is working. Ah, there we go. Erase the inside. Like magic. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to use this is called a drafting brush, and this is what you use to brush away your eraser shavings. It avoids using your hands, which may be dirty and might smear the paper. So, okay, so it's the word fire in fire. And it looks all right now, but let's make it look the way we expect things to look at this point. So let's have some of that red, some of that orange. I'm going to go really fast. I don't expect you to go this fast. But I also want this to be not the longest video on earth. Some more paint. Okay, here's the eye. Okay, the R and the I are touching, so this should look kind of interesting, I guess. Add a little flame down here. Okay, let's do the inside. also touching each other. When it comes to drawing or painting fire, there's only one trick, and that's practicing, which isn't really so much of a trick. It's just hard work. Alright, pretty cool. So now I'm going to add the orange, the next layer. A little thicker this time, I think. A thicker line, I mean, with the brush. Oh, that's cool. They mix like that. That is hot. Oops. And you know what, if I go on the lines, I don't really care that much because fire is so loopy to begin with. That's not really so precise. Does that make sense? That didn't make any sense, did it? Oh well. I've been known to not make sense. Let's not forget the center. Alright, this is looking even better. So now it's time for the yellow to go in the middle. Notice I've been working from the out. Ooh, that's cool. Working from the outside in. Okay. It's hot. Notice I'm leaving all those white parts. That just looks cool. Okay, and there's the word fire. Now I'm just going to go back and touch up a couple of things, like I think it looks a little too pink over here, so I'm going to go in with a darker red orange and just go over that. Otherwise, that looks like fire. Now I'm not going to do too many like little fire licks here because you don't want to take away from what the word actually says, and sometimes too many decorations can obscure the word, and you don't necessarily want that. So there we go. There is fire in fire. Okay, so today we worked on the word fire, and we worked on 3 fireballs there. Now the last thing I'm going to work on, I'm going to do this super fast because I'm running out of time. Let's put this back, shall we? Let's have the tape cooperate with us. Tape's not cooperating. Alright, we're going to leave that there. I think that's a great idea. Alright, so in the last episode about fire with Kayla Chaos, Kayzilla, we had, I had sketched a dragon, but the fire wasn't as good as it usually is when I draw that. So here we go. Quick dragon review. Okay, circle, rectangle, squiggly line. Okay, all right, follow that squiggly line. Eyes. Here's the nose. Here's the mouth. Here's the ear. Here's the horns. Okay, here's the mane of fur, which actually looks like fire. Okay, here's the teeth, whatever. Here's the back. Okay, here's the fire. I'm going to do this in kind of an interesting way. Move this tape over here a little bit. So the dragon is blowing fire out, and this kind of goes against the fire only pointing up. Fire is going to go out in this instance. So squiggle out, squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in. Well, that's the end of the nose in case you can't tell. Squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in. Now I'm going to use the edge of the paper as a defining point, like that's the actual end of the physical space of the dragon. So watch. The fire is going to act like it's hitting something and going out. See? You get it? I'm going to draw that pearl that often Chinese dragons are shown going after. So real fast, so you can really see what I did. Here we go. Squiggle out, squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in, squiggle out, squiggle in, out, squiggle in. Okay. Do you get it? You get what's happening here? And there's the pearl. Let's get some of that orange coming out of the dragon's mouth and into his, I guess dragons are kind of like flamethrowers. It's kind of funny, this is the year of the dragon. I guess dragons are full of fire. And, well, you get the idea here. And now some of that yellow. There we go. So voila. You've got the way the dragon goes here, over here, blowing out fire, breathing fire, which is cool. Now I mentioned before there was another way to do fire with the dark center, so let's just quickly do that. Okay. You've got the routine by now. Red, orange. Amarillo, yellow. Okay, now check this out. Some people like to, oh, that was cool. I've got some happy accidents happening here. Like to put a dark center in their flame. It's all a matter of personal preference. What you like better. Okay? Woohoo. So, that was Fire with Ms. Primosch, and thank you for joining us. I hope everybody out there stays safe, and I will see you in class. Bye.